This is really a serious story because it's all about a lady who, when you think about it, believed what this particular individual was telling her. Now, what I find very strange about this story, given the fact that we all lived it, it was the bombshell royal interview of bombshell royal interviews. I think it really, I don't know about you, and do let me know in the comments below, but I think it must have been up there with the abdication way back in 1936 because it was all done surreptitiously. Princess Diana clearly had an agenda which she'd been fed to. Do you see how history is repeating itself though? Somebody fed her these lies. That person was none other than the former BBC reporter who went on to have international fame as the reporter everybody should sit down with, including the late and beleaguered Michael Jackson. Michael was very clever though, because unlike Princess Diana, he set up his own crew filming Martin Bashir because he could sniff the fact that this guy was not to be trusted. Diana sadly was not that very clever, and I don't mean that in a cruel way. I think she believed what was presented in front of her. Why wouldn't he's come from the BBC, is there to help her. Well, a lot of people over here are now suggesting that Mr. Bashir could be heading behind, quite frankly, the slammer jail. That's really where a lot of people believe he now should be, because let's not forget, he forged bank statements amongst other things. We only know the tip of the iceberg. Now over here we have to congratulate Charles Spencer, Earl Spencer, a man who I've been lucky enough to meet on a few occasions now, a lovely guy, and he has pushed and pushed and pushed to find out the true story of what's gone on and why are the BBC, as he claims, hiding behind expensive lawyers for these emails that have gone back and forth for years. He believes that the true story could unwind. The sadder part, of course, is it can't bring this particular lady back. And some people suggest, well, that wouldn't have made any difference, But I really believe this, and I'd love to know, again, your comments on this, because when you think about it, Diana was advised to get rid of people around her who she was told were spying upon her and making things very difficult and all that sort of stuff, when in turn, when you also think about it, that truly wasn't the case. They were there to protect her. She dismissed that protection on the basis of what was presented to her. What an awful thing that you do, that you have to live with, knowing you've done that. Now, Martin Bashir, in his defence, has said that, he's been very clear and transparent. One might suggest otherwise. The other side of the coin as well is apparently, he's suffering from various illnesses, and many suspect he may even come up with another illness, i.e. mental illness, to claim why he couldn't simply stand or be questioned or whatever. He's got out of it before, and of course a lot of people around this particular arena right now suggest that might be the case in the end too. Bigger problems are ensuing, and one might suggest that Charles Spencer is doing his very best to uncover it. But as I said at the start of this video, he can uncover everything he wants. Sadly, though, it doesn't bring this particular lady back. And I'm not suggesting for one moment the two are concurrent, but the bottom line is, it did start there. A lot of the problems for Diana started when she was presented with fake facts. And the one person who presented her with that is this man. Isn't it about time we found out the real truth? And more importantly, don't you applaud Charles Spencer, Earl Spencer, for doing so much for his late sister? I know I do. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.